Hello, folks. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. So, OPEC Plus went ahead and slashed 2 million barrels a day from production, despite the pathetic entreaties from the Biden administration. The president and his minions went begging, hat in hand, and they got nothing. Because of Mr. Biden's misbegotten, unscientific, hysterical obsession over climate change and his holy jihad against American fossil fuels, we now find ourselves once again dependent on the Middle Eastern oil sheiks. But wait a minute. It's OPEC Plus nowadays. That includes Russia. That's another OPEC Saudi stick in the eye to America, since higher oil prices will help finance Vladimir Putin's war against the Ukraine. In 2 years, really less than 2 years, Joe Biden has taken this country from former President Donald Trump's energy independence, or dominance, to a state of energy dependence on our adversaries. We have gone back to the energy Stone Age. Remember all the great knee-knocking fears surrounding financial markets and the economy in the 1970s, the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, when every OPEC meeting was surrounded by high-drama speculation because the rest of the world feared oil shortages and sky-high prices? As recently as 2008, not so long ago, oil jumped to $150 a barrel, largely because of OPEC, and OPEC price spikes would inevitably lead to high inflation and deep recession. That is the situation Joe Biden's Green New Deal policies have put us into once again. It is a terrible situation. It is an unnecessary situation. It damages our energy security and our national security. You know, only a few Trump years ago, the U.S. was producing slightly more than 13 million barrels a day, outstripping the Saudis and the Russians and everybody else by a wide margin. Our best-in-the-world energy industry was calling the tune on oil and natural gas and gasoline. Now we are whistling in the graveyard. This is what Biden hath wrought. According to the Energy Information Administration, we should be at 14 million barrels a day right now, on our way to 15 million barrels a day by 2024. Instead, despite record high prices, we are at 11.8 million barrels in the last monthly reading this past summer. Again, pre-pandemic, we were over 13 million. So we're about 1.5 million barrels short. We're also over 1 million barrels short of gasoline. All this thanks to Biden's war on fossils. Another point, the Baker Hughes rig count, an indicator of oil and gas drilling, is only 604 today. It was over 800 during the Trump years. That's how our private companies have been forced to cut back because of Biden's war on permitting, drilling, fracking, pipelining, refining, and LNG terminals. Closing the fossil spigots has jeopardized not only the economic welfare of our citizens here at home, but our national security posture abroad. We were an energy powerhouse. Biden now has given that powerhouse title back to OPEC. On top of that, Biden is destroying the Strategic Petroleum Reserve that was originally meant to pitch in its sales during temporary natural disasters and to supply oil during wartime emergencies or OPEC oil embargoes. Remember them? Instead, Biden has depleted roughly 50% of SPRO for political election year price fixing to suppress oil gasoline costs at the pump. Here, too, the Saudis have outwitted him because by cutting production, the Bidens are going to have to pay high prices to refill the petroleum reserve, hoisted on their own petard. Ironically, as OPEC moves oil prices in the so-called October surprise and gas prices edge higher, it is the Biden Democrats who are going to pay a price at the polls. And this whole catastrophic scenario is homemade by these global warming central planners who have done so much damage to our economy and to our country. All I can say is, thank goodness the cavalry is coming.